Hello, everyone. Scott Zambelli here with Team Titans of Real Estate based out of Realty Executives' hometown in Shelby Township, Michigan. And today I just wanted to give you a quick market update. Everyone, when they find out you're a realtor, the first question is, what's going on in real estate? Everyone always wants to know that. And here it is, October 12th today, Tuesday. Sun's still out, still has good weather, but fall is right around the corner. And in the middle of the month, we usually get the numbers out from the MLS for the previous month activity. So I want to update everyone and just see where the trends are going right now. So wanted to show you this chart really quick. Let's take off that background for right now. There we go. It'll be easier to see that. So what we have here is sales. Let's go to the current year. So this chart here is showing the last year. So last 12 months, I should say. Actually, it's the calendar. Let's see. We're going from January of 2020 to now. So it's almost 2 years worth of data here, even though it says 1 year. This here is the median sales price or average. Here's the average sales price. And you can see we've had a steady increase over this past year. It's been going up quite a bit, about, according to this, a 14% increase over the last year. So prices are definitely going up still. However, when we start getting into the other numbers, there are signs of a potential cooling off. I don't want to say slow down because that might be too strong of a word, but we definitely have a shift occurring here. So the next one I want to show you is new listings. Okay, so here we have the total number of new listings here. January 2020, we had 100 and almost 30,000 of new listings on the market. Then we've had this decrease. Now, this has been happening for a while here. This is where, keep in mind, right here, March, this is when the lockdowns first happened with COVID. And we had a big dip. And everything started going down and down and down. And then March of this last year, when things started coming out of lockdown mode, we saw a nice boost. And then it's been kind of consistent since for brand new listings. So we've been fluctuating around 114,000 new listings since April. Okay, so it's been staying pretty consistent since, but it hasn't gone back up to the old levels that we had. Then we look at total number of homes for sale. That also, it's been a pretty steady decline there. Nice smooth. But then we get into pending sales and closed sales. These are the number of deals that have actually contracts that have been signed. And this is where I want to put my focus on. We've had a pretty good run since, typically winter months, it slows down a little. And then typically it picks back up in the summer. So that's typical. You see October of last year, September of last year, we were still rising. It was just a nice straight projection of the number of pending deals just kept going up and up. We had a slight, once again, this is when it traditionally slows down. We got January and February where it kind of leveled off, but then it picked right back up. April, then May, it started turning the corner, but then we actually started dropping after May. And June, July, August, September. So we've had consistent months of it dropping down since May. 98,000 then, 95,000. It's something like a 3.5% drop in volume of pending deals. Okay, so these are pending deals that will close next month because they're pending now. Well, I shouldn't say next month. This was as of September, so they'll close in October typically. So next month, when we do the numbers for October, we should see them as closed sales. So let's look at the number of closed sales we had. These would have been houses that typically went pending last month or in August for closing in September, I should say. Very similar path. We had the drop, then it consistently going up. Once again, now June, remember I said it's like a lagging. So the peak for pendings were in May. Those Mays would have closed in June. So the peak was in June for closings. And then we've had it drop down. So since September was a drop in pendings, my prediction is October we'll see a drop in closings. So, but same thing, roughly a 3.5% drop in total deals closed. So there are less closings occurring right now. we have the same number of listings hitting the market though. So what does that mean? That means there's not going to be as much pressure. When we have more demand than supply, prices are going to go up. You're going to have bidding wars, things like that. But now that we're having an easing on the demand in relation to the supply, it'll probably mean a cooling down on the bidding wars. Now, keep in mind, I'm talking very broad and in generalities. There are, and this chart covers all price points for all of the MLS in Michigan. So there are still specific cities, specific price points, specific houses that are still very hot and getting those bidding wars, especially if you have a house that's in prime condition, move-in ready, all the updates that people want. You know, you got open concept, granite counters, recessed lighting, nice wood floors, you know, all of these things that today's buyers are looking for. Those properties are still getting big demand. It's the properties though where, you know, about 6 months ago, you put a house on the market that needed a ton of work, it was still getting bidding wars and selling above asking. Those ones you might see us slowing down now. So take that into mind. Pricing is going to be key if you're looking to list your house. So you want to call a realtor who's going to do a thorough and honest market analysis of your home, tell you what it's worth based upon actual sales, because an overpricing at this point could severely hurt your position moving forward. So you want, because product is going stale very fast right now. Buyers have been conditioned that a house is going to sell in less than a week. They're used to that. And when they see something on the market more than a week, they're asking what's wrong. And a lot of times what's wrong is just it was priced too high. But once you get past that period of time that they've deemed as stale, you now have to, you know, just like in the grocery store, what do you do with product that's about to expire? You have to mark down the price to get people to buy it. Otherwise, they're just going to go to the fresher bread on the shelf than the one that expires tomorrow. Same with the listing, same concept. So to get people reinterested in your house after you've gone past that point of view of a stale listing, you got to cut pricing, which then hurts you in the long run. So you want to avoid that by pricing yourself correctly at the beginning. I always tell people, list price and sale price are two different things. You got to get rid of the mindset of housing 20 years ago, where you might have priced a house overpriced with the intention of negotiating down. If you overprice with the intention of negotiating down, you'll probably price yourself out of the market. So you don't want to do that. So don't let your listing go stale. And that's what we do. We come in and we analyze the numbers for you, go through it all to really show you why, to show you why we think what we think that it should list at. We tell you what we think the value is from an appraisal standpoint, because that's also important, especially if we get a bidding war going. You have to understand where your house will appraise, because that tells you if you're going to need appraisal guarantees or other items to look for in your packet from the buyer. So, and then the last thing is, what is the house actually going to sell for? Those are all three different things. You know, what your house could sell for can be vastly different than what it can appraise for, as well as what a good listing price is to maximize how many people come in your house to potentially create that bidding war. So we cover all that in our consultation with you. Just want to go over a couple quick numbers here too. Here's the days on market. Still, you know, it used to be average days market was 21. It got up to 23 back in July of 2020. That was in the peak of the shutdowns. So 23 days on market was the average. Then things started heating up and things started picking up. And we're all the way down to 11 days on market. So you can see, even though the volume has gone down in the number of closings and pendings, it's still very high. It's still selling fast. The average days is 11 days on market. That's very fast. And that's what I mean is we're conditioned. Let's look at the history here. This is going back all the way to 2003. I mean, I remember this when it would take 68 days on average to sell. Yeah, and what's really bad is the number of showings you would have during those 68 days would be very small. that was when things were brutal when the bubble bursted. Now that's obviously not desirable at all. There's a happy medium between 68 days and 11 days. Um, and you see it here. So when the market's healthy, it can, on average, anywhere from 20 to 40 days isn't a horrible time frame for days on market. So I'm just trying to put it in perspective. Obviously, 11 days is awesome, and it's much better for the sellers and everybody else. But at the same time, the mindset has changed. Back here, if a house was on the market 30 days, people then start asking what was wrong. Now people, your house is on the market 8 days and people are asking what's wrong. So keep that in mind. All that to say is you have a lot less room for error when pricing your house up front. When you have, 40 days to sell for the average houses, you could, we used to be able to put it out there and experiment for 2 weeks. Say, okay, Mr. Seller, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you want to list the house at such and such. I think that's high, but let's try it. And after 1 or 2 weeks, if we're not getting the showings we want, we're going to have to bump the price down. We're not talking days. Now it's, if we don't get the number of showings we want in 2 days, we have to be aggressive in adjusting the price to where we want. So you got to really do your homework and be fully informed on what kind of pricing you want to do. So just wanted to show that to you. Another point of reference, we're talking about number of pending sales, how it's decreased a little. When you look in the totality, I mentioned it did drop a little, but you got to put it in perspective. You look at the market as a whole, pending sales from 2003. The average number of pending sales, you're talking about 39, 40,000, right? During all this period. Then it started picking up to 45 or so. Now look at where we're at. I mean, we're way up here, 85,000, 85. So even with this little drop that we have here from May to now, we're still way above. So it's not like, hey, it's time to panic. I'm not talking about that at all. We are still at a really huge number of deals occurring. Same with closed sales. Let's look at closed sales. Same thing. It follows very similar. But, the average number of closed deals, 95,577. That's way above. Like right now, our low for the last couple months is still a record high when you look over the course of from 2003 all the way through now. So that's what I want to get at. So it's not like, it's not time to panic or anything like that. Just pointing out there's a slight shift occurring, a cooling off, I would say, not a shift may even be too strong of a word. It's a cooling off, and certain properties may not be in the position to get that 20,000 above asking price with 20,000 appraisal guarantees, appraisal waivers. Those days may be behind us. It's too soon to tell. I'm just saying it may be. In another month when we see the October numbers come out, let's see, does it level off or do we take a big drop? That's going to be important to see over the next couple months where we end up. Will things normalize by coming back down to this level of where it's been? Where, if it's going to be from roughly July of 2012 all the way to December 2020, 84,000 closings a month were normal. So we could still drop another 10,000 closings a month just to be to the average of what it was before. So we got to watch it. And that's what we do. I like to study the numbers, keep an eye on things, and keep you guys informed. So that's where we stand with that. So anyways, all that to say, do your homework, call a realtor who cares, who's going to give you an accurate number, not a number that they think you want to hear to get the business, not a number that's just going to make, all the other potential agents out there look foolish. Like for instance, if your house is truly worth, let's say 300,000, it's easy to come in and just say, oh yeah, I can sell it for 400. You want honest answers. And just because somebody has the highest price that they're quoting you, it doesn't mean it's right. It might be right, but ask them for the backup. Why? How did they get to that price? And don't let them put it on you to say, well, what do you think it's worth before they even say what it is? And then whatever number you say, it magically is exactly what they were going to say. You want them to do the work. That's what we're here for. We're here to give you advice based upon the market. So how do you find us? We have the hotline right there. 586-232-5144. That number rings both of our phones, Jill and myself. So you can get either one of us. It's kind of you're taking your chances on who's going to answer. Or if you want to speak to one of us specifically, you see it along the bottom there. 586-549-6096 is my number, or Jill Webler is 586-277-2145. That's our specific numbers. And as always, you can follow us on Facebook, Team Titans RE on Facebook, or teamtitansofrealestate.com if you want our website. We also have an awesome app that you can download to your phone if you want that. Give me a call or text me. That's my cell phone. You can text me at that number. Let me know who your name is so I know who you are. And let me know you want our real estate app set to you. I can send you a link so you can sign up. You can search right from your home whenever you want, even when you're traveling. Let's say you're down in Florida and you're thinking about a vacation home down there. You can look up the market there and let me know if you see a house you like. I can hook you up with the agent and get the ball rolling for you. So that's it from our neck of the woods. Halloween's already right around the corner. I saw a post today. I didn't have time to double check, but Christmas is officially, let's see, I'll just double check right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 weeks away. Can you believe it? 11 weeks. Hard to believe, but there you have it. And time change is coming in just a couple weeks with Halloween coming. So time's flying. We're already almost done with 2021. Let's end it strong. Give us a call. We love referrals. Any of your friends or family, we want to help take care of them for their real estate needs. So give us a call. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful day. Bye.